Got it. All right, guys. All righty. Everybody, let's make a start. It's great to see everybody here for our Halloween weekly meeting, and it's really
Mhm.
it's really fun. You guys have put in a lot of effort. And actually, what I might do is hand over to Alexa to run, or Marnie. I'm not sure who's best to run this first part because we are definitely going to be handing out prizes today
Mhm.
for who we
Yes.
deem is the most efforted, etc. So yeah, who's gonna run that part of the meeting?
Marnie.
All
I don't know
right.
the category we have
Yeah, we will going to vote.
voting.
What's the best costume or best effect,
Ooh, wow.
and then we'll be announcing later on.
All right. All
I
right. So we're
think
not announcing in
one
this
coming.
meeting, but we can see the people who show up to this meeting and have like I guess it has to be a real costume. So the only people who qualify are going to be Jessica, Jen, Alexa, Grace. Kevin is in a pirate filter. So like,
Filter.
I love it. Uh let's see. Marnie, yours is yours real money? No, yours isn't real, is it?
Yeah, it's not. It's
It's
the
not
effect.
real. Okay, cool. All right. So the only people that qualify, Alexa, Grace, Jen, Jessica, and that's it. Okay. I guess, do we all vote? Maybe we'll run a vote later on a screenshot. Maybe
Yeah, we'll be
let's do
announcing
this.
later on
Okay.
after your discussion.
I do have an idea. If we want to vote, maybe we should put a screenshot right now into the Big Bang and everyone can vote for who they think is the scariest. What do we think about that? Is that a good idea? We'll get
Sure.
to vote.
Yep.
So let's all pose for a scary screenshot. You ready? Everybody, we'll do it. Who's going to do the screenshot? Are you doing it, Marnie?
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
this screenshot.
Okay, ready,
1, 2,
everybody?
3. Okay, got
All
it.
right. All right, cool. All right, guys. That's good times. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do our normal format. But I do acknowledge you all. Thanks. I know that there's been a lot of holidays this week in the Philippines, and you guys have, we still managed to do a lot of work as well. And I know Niha, you've been working really hard as well to support all of the projects we've got going on. Kevin, you're doing amazing things. I keep making your job harder, and you keep stepping up. Everybody's stepping up all the time, and it does not go unnoticed. And that poor skeleton in the background of Juvie's screen, like that was an ex-team member who just couldn't hack the pace anymore, and we just wore them down to the bone. So that's what happens in this company. Sometimes people get worn down. All right. Let's is there anything else we want to share before we get into the content for today? Anything else anyone wants to share? Nope. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since we have our All Souls and All Saints Day celebration, especially with our Catholic culture, we have our family to celebrate. We have our time with our family and friends, cousins, those who are all the way from Manila, from other country, just to meet and visit the grave of our loved ones.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's a really special holiday that or I don't know if it's you call it a holiday, but a celebration or it's a really special thing. We don't have anything like that here, and it's very inspiring. It keeps to go and continually visit people annually at the grave is a beautiful thing to do. So yeah, it's a very, very special. Right. Awesome, guys. Okay, let's get into the content for the week, into our normal format. So first of all, we're looking for wins for the week. Anyone got any wins that they would like to share? A victory, no matter how big, no matter how small, personal or business related.
Okay, I'll share first. I believe that I'm being caused in the matter of my health because after today's work, I'll be undergoing my ultrasound.
Okay.
So
you're getting your health.
yeah, it's a win for me because yes, I'm taking a stand.
Excellent.
To yes,
very proud of you, Alexa. Health. Very proud of you. It's scary to face your health sometimes. Okay. We've all been there. And it is, well, not all of us, but a lot of us have been there, and it can be scary. So yeah, good on you for taking that action. That's great. Anyone else had a victory this week that they would like to share? No matter how big, no matter how small. Bearing in mind also, we are going out on YouTube. So make it YouTube friendly if you want to, and it can stay in the edit.
This last week, sorry, I want to share. Last week, I just did my first YouTube live with them,
Yes.
and it's awesome experience.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it, and it was really cool. You did a great job. It was really cool. Very,
Thank
very
you,
cool.
Anton. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And also, I go to the vacations after very long time. So for 1 week, I was on holiday.
Wow.
And it was awesome experience. I spent time with my family and my niece.
Oh, hello.
She lived in Bangalore. She visited us last week, and now she will leave us on 11th
Okay.
November. So I want to spend as much I can with her.
Yeah. She's
She's
beautiful
so
and she's got
cute.
such a great energy and she's just waving to all of us like we're all friends, even though we look
Yeah.
scary. She's great. She's awesome.
Actually, her parents are also in IT, so she know that the video call is like going on this
Yeah.
office work.
Wow.
You are doing office work like that.
How old is she?
She even like sometimes she wear and she call. I'm doing
The
office
headset.
work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She
How
do
old,
like as we are doing, like, hi, how are you?
how old is she? How old?
So 2.5.
2.5. Wow, she's big for 2.5. She's a
Yeah.
big girl.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
thought she's around 4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Awesome. Okay, so we've had a health and we've had a family. I love it. Any other wins that we want to share before we move on?
Anton, for me,
Yeah. Okay, go, Tita.
okay, for me, our client already paid the 12K.
Nice. Yes, we had a big payment come in, which is really nice, which leads to when we look at our targets, that's going to be very useful. So yes, it's very nice that we have a big payment coming in. Hopefully by Monday. It's perfect. It's awesome. Thank you, Grace, for sharing that. Thank you for staying on top of our finances. I really appreciate that. Any other wins before we move on? Okay. Great work. Oh, I think Jessica wanted to share, didn't she?
Yeah, for me, Anton, we just celebrated half a year since we got married.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. So good. Ghost Jessica. So great. It's actually I should have actually addressed you all as like Wednesday Adams, Morticia Adams, Ghost Jessica. Does Zombie Bride Jen have any victories she wants to share?
Just really in relation with the holiday, so just catch up, nice catch up with the relatives and friends that have been in Manila.
Awesome. That's great. Hi, Joy dear. Welcome to the call, my brother. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Awesome. Okay, so that's wins, and that was really cool, guys. Thank you for sharing. Do we have a company stress level this week? Did we do the survey?
Yeah, we do have still at 2.85.
2.85. Okay, I'm happy with 2.85. And guys, make sure when you get the survey each week, be sure to answer it and be sure to answer it honestly, because if you're a 5, put a 5. It's like we don't want to impress me. We want me to know the truth because then I can make powerful choices about the future of the company and what we do. So just make sure you know that I like it between a 2 and a 3, but I don't like it between a 2 and a 3 if it's not really between a 2 and a 3. Okay, that's the thing to get. I don't like.
We have 2% voted for 5 as their stress level.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Now we're talking. Actually, Marnie, I would like to know that. That's a great thing. You can say, look, an average of 2.5, and we've had this many 5s. I like that. That's a good addition because it gives us all a really good idea of what that looks like. That's great. Thank you for sharing them. Now, our financial targets, these raise my stress levels a little bit. We are at 0.61% of our target for the month. Okay, and we are 10% of the way through the month. Now, as Grace mentioned, we do have a decent sized payment coming in on Monday. so that by next Friday, this will be different and hopefully we've caught up. Let's see, shall we? Let's just find out next week. You'll have to watch next week's episode to find out if we're on target or not. So we're going to get into the content for today. And the content for today, I'm reading a book at the moment called 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos by Jordan Peterson. Now, this guy's a psychologist and he's also like a Bible expert. Okay, so he's a very interesting guy. This book has a lot of biblical references and at the same time, a lot of like psychological references. And so for me, I kind of gravitate towards the psychological, but I would say that I've learned, like, it's actually really improved my connection to the Bible as well. Like I'm not a Bible reader. I don't go to church. I don't do any of that, but I did do religious studies at school. And I've found that it's like really changed some of my views about what I've been reading or the stories that I knew in the Bible. That aside, it is not a religious book. And I advise that you all read it no matter what your religious beliefs, because I'm just getting a lot out of it. So I wanted to kind of go a bit over rule 1. Okay. And rule 1 in the book, there's 12 rules, is stand up straight with your shoulders back. Okay. Now, Kevin did put together a great slideshow for me, but I'm going to switch back to the text here because while he did do a good job, I don't think I'm going to be able to deliver it well. So for the second, like we will use some of his slides, but this here is the text that I'm going to read because then I can send it to you all later and you can read it later. Okay. Now, the first thing is that the poor and the stressed, I'm going to zoom in on this so you don't read ahead too much. Okay. And hopefully you can see it. Now, the first thing is that I want to get rid of that. Can I get rid of that? I can't get rid of that. All right. I'm going to do this. No, I can't do that. All right. I'll go a bit smaller. Okay. The poor and the stressed always die first and in greater numbers. They're also much more susceptible to non-infectious diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. When the aristocracy catches a cold, it is said that the working class dies of pneumonia. Okay. Now, you guys are in an emerging economy, all of you in this meeting. And I'm sure that you see a lot of poverty around you. I see a lot of poverty around me as well. It's not like Australia is immune to it at all. But you will see that those people are, when they are in poverty, their health shows physically. They might be all hunched over, their skin is not good, their teeth are missing, there's just so many things, their health is breaking down, and the smallest thing can really impact their health in a negative way, right? Are we on the same page here? Do we understand? Like you guys are very privileged, I think, in my view. As far as I know you guys have all got, good things going on in your lives and making your finances work and everything else. But there's a lot of people around all of us. And when something little happens to us, if that same little thing happened to them, it would be diabolical. Okay. It would be really bad. Now, conflict, the thing is conflict, in life, where sometimes we have conflict, the danger with conflict is we could, like in certain situations, we could die as a result of that conflict. Like standing up for something you believe in or someone you believe in, handled the wrong way, you could actually have your life ended as a result of it. So when we enter conflict situations, we want to be able to win or lose without the disagreeing parties incurring too great a cost. Like there's no point in defending your child in something if you're going to lose your legs. Okay. Like obviously you will do it, but if you do that, that's a big cost. And now you can't even parent your child properly, So we weigh up our battles. We always have to weigh up our battles. The book goes on to talk about lobsters. Okay. Lobsters are like ancient creatures. Does everyone know what a lobster is? Everyone familiar with lobsters? Okay. So lobsters are ancient creatures, and they have when they have high levels of serotonin and low levels of dopamine, they are a cocky, arrogant, strutting shellfish, and they won't back down as easily when they're challenged. And the way that they get this high release of serotonin and low dopamine is when they win a battle. When they win a battle, these hormones are released, and then they are more confident. So the next time a battle comes, they're even more confident, and then they're even more confident. It's like we we're talking about with the rolling the dice last week, right? Like the more you win, the more confident, arrogant, cocky, but that you become. But it also really works. You know, it makes other people and other things back down around you. And so the opposite neurochemical configuration is a high ratio of octopamine to serotonin. And that produces a defeated looking, scrunched up, inhibited, drooping, skulking sort of lobster. It's very likely to hang around in the street corners and vanish at the first hint of trouble. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. When you see a person out there on the streets, maybe a homeless person or a person who's had a really hard life, they are already defeated. No matter what life gives to them, they're already defeated. They don't believe that they're going to win, and they just hightail it out of there because they know they're going to lose. And so imagine what life is like for them. Like, we're all used to winning most of the time in this room. The people in this room, we get to win most of the time. And so every time we win, it releases serotonin, and our octopamine or our equivalent lowers. Okay. But someone else out there is losing all the time, and their octopamine is raising and their serotonin is lowering. So I want you to just start to see that in people when you look around. And this is where he gets to a biblical reference. And he says sometimes it's known as the Matthew principle, Matthew 25:29, derived from what might be the harshest statement ever attributed to Christ. To those who have everything, more will be given. And from those who have nothing, everything will be taken. And I did love that. I love that reference. It makes a lot of sense. We see it. The people who have stuff get more stuff. The people who don't have anything keep getting things taken away from them, even though they don't have anything left to give. That's out there. That's a real thing. Okay. And he goes on to talk about apes. And he says that, like, chimps are crazy, amazing creatures. Like, they are incredibly violent. Okay. They will tear each other's arms off. They will murder each other in the most amazing ways. They are like a very violent creature. And we are definitely very closely related to these creatures. So as human beings, we are capable of fighting. We are capable of murder. We are capable of horrible things. Okay. We've learned to manage those, but we're capable of these things. We're nowhere near as strong. Okay. We're nowhere near as strong, but he's talking carefully about, he's talking about how the most brutal, strongest chimp that could destroy a man or a woman, a human man or woman, would be destroyed by two men or two women. Okay. So even a chimp doesn't stand a chance against two people. So the cost to an incredibly arrogant, cocky, high serotonin chimp, the cost would be their life against two human beings. So we have to pick our battles in life carefully. Okay. Now, I don't know if I'm losing you at this point, and we only have 9 minutes left, but I really want to try and get this rule across. And the rule is, remembering, just bringing it back, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Okay. Be confident. Okay. Be confident out there in the world, because those who have stuff are going to get more stuff, and those who don't have stuff are going to have more stuff taken away. Now, the dominant male with his upright and confident posture not only gets the prime real estate and the easiest access to the best hunting ground, he also gets all the girls. It is exponentially more worthwhile to be successful if you are a lobster and a male. Now, this is not, I mean, obviously everybody other than Joy Dip and I and Kevin in here are males, but he's not talking about that. He's talking about, again, in our roles in society. The same thing happens with women. Okay. Like, certain women you'll notice who are more confident, who present themselves in certain ways, etc., they get all of the attention, or they get all of the jobs, or they get all of the thises and the that's. Okay. So it's not a gender thing. We have lived in a dominance hierarchy for a long, long time, and we were struggling for position before we even had skin or hands or lungs or bones. There is little more natural than culture, and dominance hierarchies are older than trees. So this is one of the things. A lot of people think life should be fair, life should be even and equitable. Not necessarily, because in nature, that's not how it works. Nature is cruel and dominance hierarchical. Okay. The bigger trees get all the water, the little trees have to struggle to get a bit of water, etc. Like everything is a dominance struggle. And we don't need to reject that or say it's wrong or make it wrong. We just need to get that it's a game to play. And we don't want to hurt anybody in that game. But we do need to be able to, we need to be aware that it's a game and we need to be able to play that game. Then he goes on to talk about sleeping and eating, right? Like how sleeping and eating can interfere with you playing the dominance game. Okay. So if you are not eating and sleeping properly, and this is great. So uncertainty, your body is an orchestra, he talks about. Okay. And erratic eating and sleeping will interfere with your body's function, and uncertainty can throw it for a loop. The body with its various parts needs to function like a well-rehearsed orchestra. Every system must play its role properly and at exactly the right time, or noise and chaos will ensue. So for this reason, the routine is so necessary. And the acts of life that we repeat every day need to be automatized. They must be turned into stable and reliable habits so that they lose their complexity and gain predictability and simplicity. And this can be seen most clearly in the case of small children who are delightful and comical and playful when their sleeping and eating schedules are stable, and horrible and whiny and nasty when they're not. And I'm sure that some of us know that. We have small children right now, right? So does like, this is a question for you guys. Do you wake up at the same time every morning? Do you wait? Who here wakes up at the same time every morning? Just put your hand up if you wake up at the same time every morning. I do. Does everyone else? Everyone who wakes up at the same time every morning? Kevin doesn't. Okay, cool. Jen doesn't. Grace does. Okay, cool. All right. Marnie does. Wakes up at the same time every morning. Okay, cool. So some of us do, some of us don't. He says if the answer is no, fixing that, if you ever experience mental health, like depression, mental health concerns like depression or unhappiness in any form, start with this. Fix that first. Okay. It doesn't matter if you go to bed at a different time, but wake up at the same time every day is the first thing he recommends, right? So, okay. The next thing he asks about is breakfast. He counsels his clients to eat a fat and protein-heavy breakfast as soon as possible after they awaken. No simple carbohydrates, no sugars, as they're digested too rapidly and produce a blood sugar spike and then a rapid dip. So this is the thing here. He says that we're already stressed out when we wake up. So therefore, if we give ourselves a spike and then a dip early in the morning, we're going to get more stressed, and it sets up a stressful day. So he's had many clients whose anxiety was reduced to subclinical levels merely because they started to sleep on a predictable schedule and eat breakfast. Okay. So if you are experiencing psychological up and downs, start with breakfast straight away, high fat, high protein, low sugar, and get up at the same time every day. That's pretty much it. Now there's a lot more here, okay, which we're not going to go into. There's 2 more paragraphs. Let's see if we can summarize it. To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with your eyes wide open. It means deciding to voluntarily transform the chaos of potential into the realities of habitable order. It means adopting the burden of self-conscious vulnerability and accepting the end of the unconscious paradise of childhood, where finitude and mortality are only dimly comprehended. There's a lot of big words in here, and I know that English is not the first language for most of you. You may need to Google some of these words, so I'm going to put the link in the chat. But basically, it's saying when you stand up straight and your shoulders are back, you're accepting life, warts and all. You're accepting that life is not a dream, unicorns, rainbows, and all that. There's a lot of problems in life to deal with as well. It means willingly undertaking the sacrifices necessary to generate a productive and meaningful reality. And it means acting to please God in ancient language. Take that if you want to. So to attend carefully to your posture, quit drooping and hunching around, speak your mind, put your desires forward as if you have a right to them, and at least the same right as others. Walk tall and gaze forthrightly ahead. Dare to be dangerous. Encourage the serotonin to flow plentifully through the neural pathways, desperate for its calming influence. Okay, so I don't know what you're going to get from today. It's a bit of a risk for me to try and share this rule with you, but there's 12 more like this. It's got great rules about parenting, which I really resonated with. Really powerful stuff. I wish I'd known them when my children were younger, because it really is about like society gives us so many conflicting views nowadays. It's nice to have a different view with it, which is kind of a system. I like systems, that I can follow and test, and there's some good stuff in there. The second rule: treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. And you can read that on your own time if you want to. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. I suggest you guys all you guys all open the link so that you've got it to have a look at afterwards. And if you want the book, get the book on Audible. Happy to buy the book for you. I don't really mind. Like, I want you guys to keep developing. So if this is something you're interested in, we want to develop you all. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening to me. I did a lot of talking. There was no sharing today. I don't know. I wish there was. Wish you had more time, but hopefully you got something out of that.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. But I have a question, Anton.
Sure, go for
before
it.
we
Yeah.
wrap up. So yeah, based on your experience, do you have any tips on how we avoid conflicts?
Well, I think that you actually don't want to avoid conflicts. I think that is the key.
yeah.
But don't see them as conflicts. See them as contributing to someone else. Like if I've got something hanging out of my nose, it's up to you to tell me. You know what I mean? Because if you care about me, you will tell me. And if I'm doing something inappropriate, you're my friend. I expect you to tell me. But it doesn't have to be a conflict. It's only a conflict if then I make it a conflict and I feed into that. So it's, yeah, my coaching there is go into conflict, thinking about it not as conflict, but as contributing to someone that you care about. And if you're getting emotional reactions from them and you think that the cost could be very high in this conflict, then ease off and try to find a balance point where you can still communicate, but you don't create a war and lose a leg, because that cost is too high. Or you don't want to lose the friendship. I've got people who don't talk to their parents, or they haven't talked to their brother in 40 years and crazy stuff like that. You don't want that in your life. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. All right, guys, I love you all. Have a happy weekend, and we'll do it all again next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you, team. Bye-bye.
Amazing outfits. Look at Grace. She looks so cool. You all look so cool. Jessica.
Oh yeah, by the way, we will be announcing the I think the top 4, or since they have the real efforts and make apps to get up. So the winner goes to all of you, the 4 of you, Grace, Alexa, Jennifer, and Jessica.
Yes. Now we're talking.
So
give them all a prize. Give them all first prize. I agree. That's a great choice.
I will be messaging you private for your prize.
Awesome.
Yes,
You're all winners. That's right. That's perfect. You're the smart one, Marnie. That's why we've got you in control of the money.
Thank you, Anton, for
Happy
sharing knowledge
weekend,
to us.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Have a
Bye.
great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.